Hello, it's the 6th of December, and in this live stream, I'm going to talk all about the kinds of games that you might like to buy for your children for Christmas, or if you're a teacher, you might like to remind parents that these would be great games to buy their children for Christmas because they help children to become great at maths, and they're really great for family life if you can just get a little of them in. As always, 9 a.m. Sunday mornings, I will break into whatever I'm talking about and take your questions if you ask them live. Next year, I plan to advertise this, or at least promote it a little bit rather than doing it without telling anyone. But it's great just to have the freedom to speak now. So starting at the bottom end, and my real regret is that I was just going through my list of games and lots of them are out of production, but I'll focus on the ones that you can definitely get. So for young children, age about 3, the key games you want are these two, Spotty Dogs and Ladybirds. They're really similar. They get children and families going with playing games together. They're quick to play. They're great for strategy. And older children will really enjoy playing with them with their younger children. Just can't recommend them highly enough. When you've finished the game, you've got lots of things to count up in 1s, 2s and 3s. So there's the beginnings of counting in 2s, and just lots of small addition to puzzle out your results. You'll have loads of fun with these. Make sure on Christmas lists, and they're very cheap, under a tenner. Moving on from there, Snakes and Ladders comes in. It's such a classic children's game. I think the rules of all this are adults have to enjoy it. So if you didn't enjoy these games as a child and you're buying them for your children, you're not going to play with them. And the whole point of buying an interactive game for your child is that the child gets so much from interacting with an adult or an older brother or sister who's got more math skills than they have, and sharing that enjoyment and that experience of playing with number with them. So it's got to be fun for you. So Snakes and Ladders is a classic one. Some people loved it, some people didn't. If not, try and get something else that involves dice and small numbers. If you're looking at the Orchard Games range, there are quite a few. One I would say that's worth a little go is this one, Bus Stop, where you've got buses for 10 people and people get on and off the bus. This isn't one that I found I played again and again, but it got my children used to dice, and it really nails some interesting concepts, and it sets up the 10 frame because the bus is as a 10 frame. Let's just find one of these buses. There it is. Or nearly, it's a 6 and a 4 actually, so you have to learn to see it in the 5s, but it's a block of 10. So children get used to seeing the numbers within 10 and whether they're nearly there, and that 9 is one less than 10. If you're a teacher and you're buying games for your kids, I would buy this one, because when they get a bit bored of it, just pop it in your classroom and use it occasionally. Not that teachers will ever do that. A lot of the best games in maths classroom come in when teachers' children have finished with them. So I mentioned Snakes and Ladders. Another pocket money game is Pick Up Sticks, and I've got one somewhere here. I just couldn't put my hand in it, but I saw one in a shop yesterday. Just sticks with painted ends, and you drop them on the table and you have to pick them up without moving the others to get them. And different coloured sticks are worth different numbers of points. So all this work on adding small numbers is great. Of course, that kind of thing can go in your stocking. Next stocking filler present kind of game is your Top Trumps. Now, as a parent, the mistake that I've made is to buy my child the Top Trumps on the latest fad that they're totally passionate about and they know inside out, and then they want to play with them with me, and I am bored witless because I haven't got a clue what's going on and I'm really not interested. You need to meet your children halfway with something that interests them and interests you, unless you're a lot more selfless about playing games with your kids than I am. So the one I recommend at the entry level top trumps is this one. This is Baby Animals Top Trumps. And in this, the categories are, this is an elephant calf, how many months in your mummy's tummy, weight, typical weight at birth, independence factor, mischief factor, and cuteness factor. Just fabulous. So nice to play, just really interesting. Anyone's going to want to play that with your child. And then you can go up through the usual ones, you know, sports cars, aeroplanes, maybe something eco-friendly about machinery that's good for the planet. You and they might find that interesting together. And another one that I recommend, this isn't actually top trumps. This is country trumps, which is another version of the same kind of game. And this one's all about British mammals. They've got several that give clear information about different types of animals and birds and so on. And the reason I like this one is, if you look at the categories at the bottom there, we've got UK breeding population. They've got some fantastic large numbers in there. So you and your child need to be able to look at these numbers and instantly say what they are. 31 million there. Don't know how they know it's not 31 million and 10. Interesting point for discussion too. But top trumps, you know, about £5 pack. You're going to get your value for money out of them compared with most Christmas presents that you spend a £5 on. Hello, if you're there, it'd be great if you say hi. Moving on from that, so all of those are games that you can play with just 2 people, which is really useful. This is a game that we got loads of use out as a family. This is Ingenious. And you have a board. It's a very simple game. This is it says age 8+. You can bring in children a bit younger. Children will join in games younger if the older children are playing them usually, which is why young children are often quite bright at maths and games. You have this board here, and it's set out to play it with different levels of difficulty. And you have these pieces which you fit on, and you try to make lines of different colours, and that's it basically. And you add up the scores, but there's loads and loads of number work in adding up those scores. Lovely family game. And then you're really moving on to games like Monopoly and Game of Life, where you're doing calculations with paper money and giving lots of change. And I know it's so hard to find the time to play them, but if you're ever going to do it, maybe over Christmas, you can find the time to sit down and play again. But again, it still applies. You've got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to make the time to play it with your children. So rack your brains, think of the games that you loved as a child that did great work with your number work. One other thing I want to say about Monopoly is that we've worked with loads of different editions, and the classic one is the best. All that work with notes and money is excellent, and it's the foundational stone of Monopoly. Go on to the other ones later. Also think about grandparents. If your child goes to grandparents or a friend for childcare, what games would they like to play with your child? And maybe you could buy them those games to play with your child, or buy your child those games to take with them. Listen to them. Other carers in your extended family do amazing work with your children, and they've often got the time that you haven't got because they are the ones who are making time to do childcare. As a parent, I watched some parents, you know, they would do games with their children every night, and I'd just watch it all because my life was never like that. But at key times, I'd try to make time to do a game on a Saturday night. One last thing that's worth getting is card games. Loads of great stuff in card games. If you can remember any card games from when you were a child, it's really worth digging them out and playing with them. I'll probably come back and do a special one on card games because there are some excellent games that it's really worth knowing about. So if you're still looking for some ideas for Christmas presents, hopefully that's given you some ideas for your own kids, but as a teacher, also it's worth writing a note to parents saying, is this the right time to buy these games? How about this? Might you be able to sit down and play Monopoly with your child this Christmas? I know it's difficult with social distancing. It's much easier in normal years when you can invite another family round, and if you've got that, your child's friend would also be interested to play and get everyone play, and then you can swap in and out the game if you get a bit bored as an adult, which can be really useful. Cat who's climbing all over the place and is desperate to get out of the room. Come here, Arthur. Come on. So it's nearly time to start to sign off. If you've got any questions, please post them now. No, he just wants out. So I'll sign off. Take care. See you next week. Bye for now.